Hello, and welcome to Spirit Rebels, Chapter 2, Episode 7. And today it's about setting intentions and goals, which is perfect as this is our last episode before the new year. So, obviously, I am Helen, and I am here with the delightful
Kelly. I like being called delightful. That's a nice way to describe somebody.
You
Delightful.
are
Am
delightful.
I
You're
like
positive, you're sparkling,
angel delightful? Is that a thing?
like a light. You used to have that as a child.
Yes, I did. I never liked the strawberry one, but I used to like the chocolate one, and the butterscotch one was my favorite one.
Oh, I was banana girl.
Oh,
I
good
loved
Lord, Helen,
banana.
that's wrong on every level. Ugh.
Remember that stuff called blancmange?
Oh God, yes, we used to get that at school. Pink blancmange. What even is that made of? Like that surely just wrongness. Did it come out
I
of a
did.
tin, a squeezy bottle? Like where did
It
it
was
come
really
from?
funny consistency, wasn't it? Because it wasn't
Oh
jelly and it wasn't custard. It
no.
was like
It was like milky
something in
jelly
between.
stuff. Just vomit. Nah, I can't even
Do
think about
kids
it.
have blancmange these
I don't
days?
think so.
No,
No, I don't
no.
think so. Or tapioca pudding. We used to have. Can you remember
Oh, I've never
tapioca
had
pudding?
that. What is
Like
that?
it's a bit like rice pudding, but made with a different grain, which is tapioca, and it looked like frog spawn, but I quite liked it.
Is that a northern thing?
I don't know. I couldn't think. It might not even be an northern thing. It might have just been my first school kind of thing. I don't know. And then you used to get
Oh,
them cakes that were like the tray baked cakes. 'Cause there's nothing like
yes,
school cake, is there?
yes. They were the treatment. And those the ones that you'd have the sponge ones with the sort of jam on the top with coconut and things
Oh, with
like
the
that.
coconut on. Oh,
Yeah.
the custard. Not a fan of custard neither. My mum, for a while, she worked as a cook in a first school, a very, very little first school, Whitfield First School. I mean, there was only like 15 students in the whole place. But she was a cook, and at the end of the terms, just was she was told she couldn't use any of the stuff at the end of the terms. It had to all be thrown out. So she would often bring stuff home. So we could get these giant bags of like ready mixed cake mix and cheesecake mix and stuff like that that you just literally added water to and mixed up and then put in the oven or left to set or whatever. It was brilliant. We used to love the end of term when she'd bring home all this stuff. It was great. Um,
Oh,
Raiding
fabulous.
the like literally these massive, no one can see what I'm doing with my hands, these massive bags of like chocolate cake mixture and stuff. And it'd be like, oh great, yeah, cool. We used to like that. And then we didn't never used to cook it. We just used to like make up like a mug and just sit and eat the cake mixture. We're just not sure
Oh,
how like,
things we would do as kids. But
yeah.
how we've gone from calling you to I can't even speak, calling you delightful to going on to blancmange and things like that. So there you go.
This is the magic of our podcast, Helen. This is the magic of
Absolutely.
our podcast.
Absolutely.
So
So, how are you?
well, I'm good. I'm just thinking because we've just for the benefit of the listeners, we have just finished recording our live video Christmas special that you can see on Spotify or over on Facebook on the Facebook page. It was really good fun, and we've just been congratulating ourselves, haven't we? Because getting through to be able to figure out how to do something like that's been a massive learning curve for us, and we've done it, and that is just wonderful. And we are now sitting on the cusp of the end of the year because this episode's going to be broadcast on the 29th.
Yep.
29th,
29th of December. Yeah.
which is literally as we are just about to step into 2025, just like Elton John steps into Christmas. We're about to step into 2025. So our session today is all about setting goals and intentions and things. And I think this time of year is such I think everyone's kind of conditioned. Next year, I'll do this next year. This next year, I'll do this. Next year, I'll do that. And we already start to think about the kind of year that we want to bring into being as we hit the Christmas time, don't we? Oh, I haven't even asked you how you are, Helen. How are you?
No, I'm good. I'm good. So no, I agree with what you say. And funnily enough, I was going to bring it down for this podcast, but I haven't. A year ago, well, not quite a year, last December, I wrote a letter to myself to
Uh-huh.
open this December. And I
Oh,
think it's dated to open on the 27th of December. And the letter to myself was all about what I wanted to achieve in the year and, you know, where I'd want to be in a different place, or there was some, if there was issues in my life, what I wanted to resolve. So I wrote myself this letter, and I remembered it this morning thinking about this episode. And I was thinking, oh, should I go and get it and open it now? Because it's technically the 22nd of December, not the 27th. And then I thought, oh, do I want to read it out? Because I think I can remember certain things, and certain things haven't quite worked out. But then I thought to myself, it doesn't matter if things haven't worked out, because at least you've tried, at least you've sort of thought about what you want to achieve or do or work on. So even if not everything's come to light, that's something I can continue to work on as I keep, go on my journey. So I thought that was quite a fun thing that maybe listeners might want to try.
I think that's a great thing. And I think as well, when you're talking about things not happening the way that you want them to happen, maybe there's a reason for it as well. And we're very good at looking at a list of things and going, well, that didn't happen, and that didn't happen, and that didn't happen. But what about all the stuff that did happen that wasn't even on your list,
Yeah.
But I love the idea of writing a letter to yourself. I was tempted. So one of my Christmas romance books in December, as we all know, I'm a big Christmas cheese romance book fan. It was about a girl who ended up moving into this big old manor house thing with this old lady over Christmas. And the girl was a school teacher, and she brought all her school kids on a Christmas outing to the mansion, castle place thing. It was in the Highlands of Scotland. And they sat and they wrote a letter to Santa in the main hall of this castle. And the lady who lived there, who's been on her own for such a long time, she sat and wrote a letter to Santa as well. And the girl who was the protagonist, the main girl in the book, the old lady had said, oh, just chuck that in the fire, just destroy it. But she didn't. And she kept the letter and she opened it. And then she made it her little mission to make this old lady's Christmas, all her Christmas wishes to Santa come true, which was it was lovely. And I stopped and I thought, you know what, writing letters to Santa, now whether it's to Santa, whether it's to the universe, whether it's to yourself, what a lovely thing to do. And I was really tempted to sit down and do something really similar this year. I wanted to get my kids to do it as well, but they, well, kids, instant gratification, isn't it? It's just like, well, if I write it on here, will it be there tomorrow? No, it's not Amazon Prime, darling. No, it's not going to happen. I mean,
Amazon Prime has ruined kids.
It has. It
absolutely has ruined kids,
has.
because they know that they can get everything next day, and life does not work like that in most cases.
Well, remember the days where, like, if there was a movie you wanted to watch and you missed it at the cinema, you had to wait for it to come out on video, and then you had to wait for it to be available at the video shop so you could hire it over the weekend. And then someone's put it back in the box and they haven't rewound it, so you would have to sit and rewind it for 25 minutes before you could actually watch the damn thing. Now, oh, I want to watch a film, stream it. Everything's at their fingertips.
All accessible.
So I think when it comes to manifestation, I think getting kids involved, I think, is a great idea. Now, whether you want to call it manifestation, whether you want to call it setting intentions, or just bringing in some focus, whether you want to call it letters to Santa, letters to the universe, New Year's resolutions, if you want, whatever. I think it's a good idea. But kids are so bloody. I mean, I thought I was impatient, but kids really, really are impatient these days, aren't they? But they just expect, and I don't know if that's a good thing actually, because that is part of the manifestation process. If there's no point in asking for something if you don't expect that it's actually going to arrive for you. So maybe that's a positive. I don't know, but I think that's a lovely idea, and I think I'm going to do that in between Christmas and New Year. I think, and that's a great thing, isn't it?
That's what I'm going to do. So after, I'm going to do it on the 27th. I'm going to open my letter and I'm going to digest my letter, and then in the evening I'll have some time on my own. I'll light a candle and I will write myself another letter for the next year. And you put the letter away. I've got like a box which I sort of decorated, and I've got like special crystals in there and different things and different letters and stuff I've written, really, and journal items. And I've put it in there with a I think it's got a carnelian on it actually, and I'll pull it out, and maybe if I remember, when we do our first recording in January, I might say how many things on there.
We'll have a chat about.
Yeah,
that sounds
if I
good.
remember, I'll try. I'm going to make a note, but I might not remember. So if you hear a noise, it's me just scribbling a minute, guys. Remember letter.
Now, speaking of remembering things, when we recorded last time, we said I had to remember something.
Yeah, I asked you to write it down. Where's your notepad?
Here, right in front of me. Uh, where have I always write all my notes about the
Hmm.
podcast on here. Oh, yes, it was about that lovely client of mine who I woke up and I'd messaged. That's what it was. Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So last episode, and this has got nothing to do with setting intentions, but never mind. Last episode, I was telling a
Not the
story.
live one, the recorded one before, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yes, yeah. So episode 5,
Yeah.
I was telling a story about how I'd come into the office and a, what I call a Reiki set, right, a piece of paper for a healing session about a particular client had somehow made its way out of my drawers and boxes and was sitting on top of my laptop that morning. And I messaged my lovely lady. Now I have already filled Helen in on this because I was excited, so I just had
Yeah.
to. But I messaged her as soon as we finished recording, and she messaged me straight back saying, "Oh my goodness, this is like, isn't this amazing?" Yeah, she's having problems. Her baby wasn't very well, and she's having some other things going on, and she did need me. So I've set up another crystal grid for her, and I've got some continuous healing going out for her and her situation, and for her baby. And yeah, so the universe literally was telling me that I need to get in
Hmm.
touch with her. She needed me. I love that. I absolutely
It's
love that.
amazing. I mean, yeah, how did that piece of paper come out, and that message to you, and the fact you reached out and she was just like, I mean, Shelley messaged me straight away, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But so nice that you reached out to that
Yeah,
lady, and just out of nowhere in terms of for her, and yet
yeah,
just when she needed you. So
yeah.
absolutely beautiful, and that's why you bring so much beauty into this world and help so many people, because there's little things like that. You didn't have to reach out, you chose to reach out, and
I know,
look.
but how could I not have done after that was the universe literally going, Shelley, do this, get in touch with this person. Like, I mean, there's no way on this earth that bit of paper could have just fell out, or like it was like underneath loads of stuff in one of my wooden drawers. I've no
And
idea,
I
but
see Shelley on this recording all the time. And like even then trying to find that note, she's like
yeah,
picking things up and
underneath my
moving
desk.
things. So I know that piece of paper wouldn't have just been there on the
No.
desk, because whenever we speak on the phone, she's moving things out
Yeah.
the way.
Piles of stuff everywhere. They're very organized piles. I know exactly what's in everything, but that bit of paper was not one of the things. So
No.
bizarre, so bizarre. But well, you know what? It's wonderful, and I love the fact the universe can just do that. And yep, I'd like more of that next year. So anyway, back to intentions and stuff. So yeah, writing a letter to the universe, writing a letter to yourself, writing a letter to Santa, whoever you want to write to. I think that is an absolutely lovely idea. I'm just going to do a shameless little plug, Helen. It's not going to cost
Yeah,
anyone
go for it.
anything. So I have created now, it's entitled Yule Magic, I do believe, but I've created it completely free. There is a meditation and there is a little workbook to go with it. And you download it, you can listen to the meditation, and it takes you, it's set on winter solstice, which for us witchy folks is a perfect time. And you can download it and listen to it, and it takes you through a little walk through a snowy nighttime forest, pine forest, and you find a little cottage and go in the cottage, and it just talks you through how to release and let go of the stuff that's happened in 2024, to be grateful for the good things, to see and start to understand how our challenges have actually given us an opportunity to learn or to grow. And then it helps to set the scene to sow some seeds of inspiration for our manifestations and achievements for 2025. And the workbook is very similar. You can do both. You can pick one or the other. And the workbook will help you to have a little dive into what you want to release and let go of, what you're grateful for in 2024, and also what you want to manifest in 2025. But it also encourages you to start looking at any hidden beliefs that you might be carrying that could be blocking the manifestations you want to see in your life.
I'm just trying to sign up now.
Yeah. Oh,
Actually, I
cool.
got your email.
Yeah.
I was
Woo.
meant to do this on Friday when I got it. It was Friday, wasn't it? You sent it out.
You Saturday morning.
Oh, Saturday.
Yeah.
See, I'm losing track of days. But it seems to be like it's recognizing me, and it's
You'll be
wanting
in
me to
there.
enter a password, and now I don't know what the password is.
Oh, is there not a button to say reset password?
No, I'll
You're
just
in
try.
there because you've got the Return
Yeah,
to Reiki course. So it's all
yeah.
it's all stored on my magic portal where all of my online stuff lives.
I'm trying. Wow, I will have to work that out. But yes,
I'll
guys,
send
do
you a
it.
link.
Yes, just send me a link
I'll send
because
you a link.
it's got the workbook, and that's what I want to download more than anything is that workbook, and I can't.
Oh, I'll send
Kelly
you
will
I'll
sort me
send you
out.
yeah, I will. I will. I will. I
But
will.
and also, can I just say your graphics and everything are lovely. So when you guys
Oh,
go for
thank
this,
you.
it's just all lovely. And yeah, I'm oh hang on. Maybe now I can do it. I might be in now. Is it in? Is it in?
Dun 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 dun
Yes,
dun.
I'm
Ooh,
in.
hurrah, hurrah.
So it is all lovely. Oh yes, I've got it. 2024 to 25 year transition. And it's oh, I've got a tickle in my throat. Excuse me. That's just what you want to hear on a podcast, isn't it? And it's a lovely. You've created a beautiful like brochure here.
Oh, thank
Absolutely
you.
brilliant, or manual, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to save that now and then get that printed off and fill
Fab.
that in.
Yeah. Well, you can use it as the basis for your 2024 into 2025 letter. I think
Yeah.
setting intentions is all very well and good, but there's a couple of things that we have to think about when we're setting intentions because, well, there's lots of things really we have to think about because if we set an intention, but we don't believe that it's A, possible, B, we're safe to bring that in, or C, we deserve what we're asking for, none of them's going to happen. But
Mm.
also, and I was thinking about this when I was in the shower this morning, because well, you know me, Helen, I come from a very corporate background, a long time ago, maybe, but very corporate background. And one of my bugbears about people setting intentions is that they don't make them smart. And I don't know if things in the corporate world have changed since I've
No,
been in it.
they're still very much about smart objectives.
Yeah, because you know what? And it's the same as when I work with the witches and things doing spells. And I say, what what you doing a spell for? And they'll say, oh, I just want happiness. And they say, okay, that's great. I want you to have happiness as well. But A, how are you going to measure this? What does happiness look like? And if in 6 months you look back, how are you going to know if you're happier or
Mm.
not? What does happiness look like? What does freedom look like? What does abundance look like? What does relaxation and calm and what does that look like? So I would encourage everyone to literally work with that whole SMART format in terms of what you might have to have: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic,
Yeah, timely.
timely. The only thing I would say is take the R out. I won't handle this whole idea of being realistic with wishes and dreams because, no. Being realistic can just hold us back because,
Mm.
someone would say, oh, I want to manifest £1 million. And then you go, well, is that realistic? Well, probably not. When actually, you know what? Realistic is in the eye of the beholder. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly.
And so yeah, make them smart objectives.
Maybe that's what I'll take into work actually,
Yeah.
because it's the
Oh,
same in work. Why do they have to say realistic in terms of, like you say, they that's maybe then
so
dimming their
limiting.
chance of
Yeah.
going that little bit further. So yeah, we'll do SMAT.
We'll do
SMAT
smart
objectives.
objectives,
I love
smart
it.
intentions. So anyone who's not ever worked in the corporate world to be listening to us going, what are you talking about? But yeah, so I want to encourage people when they're setting their intentions at this time of year to literally move past the limited thinking, any limitations you've got in your head, because what's that song? If you don't have a dream, how are you going to make those dreams come true? If you don't have the intention, you can't make it happen. And if I honestly
Mm,
believe that thoughts become things when we fuel them with our energy and positive thinking and belief, if you don't have that in the first place, you can't actually make them happen. But I'd always say when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to intention setting, you go through my 3 rules. Is it safe? Is it possible? And are you worthy or deserving of it? And if you can say yes to those and know it deep down inside, you'll get it. There's no way you
mm,
can't not get it. The other main point for me as well, and one of the reasons why I pulled this workbook together, is clarity. Because if you're setting an intention and your goal isn't clear, you don't have focus, you can't. So a focused goal, a clear goal, there is a clear focus stream of energy going into it. Whereas if your goal's not very focused, like I want happiness, well, that could be happiness at work, it could be happiness at home, it could be happiness with your body, it could be happiness with your finances, it could be just a happy mindset in general. There's no clear bullseye for all that energy that we want to pull in and push into our intention. It's like going around, we're back to those swarms of bees again. It hasn't got one clear place to go. So that's my 2 pence worth, if that
Well,
counts.
I've already decided for me next year, and it isn't even next year because I've started it this year, is I'm very much on a journey of working on myself,
Oh,
because I
yes.
think that's where we came to with in terms of my love life. I think I had these hidden beliefs around worthiness. And I think that's where we've got to. And I think I had some realization around that. But actually, the last few weeks, I've come into a really happy place in my life. And what's happened is I've stopped worrying about what could be and what I want and what might happen. And I've thought, just live in the moment.
Yeah.
So I've started to really start to spend a bit of time with myself. I know that sounds a bit crazy, but some people are very good at being on their own. I'm not a person that's good at being on their own. So I've started doing things like that and really starting to think about myself and what I could do with improving or changing or working on or reflecting and what's going really well. So I think for me, next year is going to be a lot around continuing that journey and loving myself more and getting myself to a nice place. And then, who knows at that point when I'm further along on that journey, what doors may open in lots of different ways. It may not be love, because again, it still might not be the right time. And you know what? I'm happy. I'm all right. Lils and I are great. And I'm blessed with my family, my friends, my job, so I am in a good place, thankfully, and I'm very grateful for that. Love would be nice, but it's not the end of the world. So I think for me, 2025 is very much around my journey, and then fingers crossed love comes into that too.
Yeah, that sounds nice. What I will say, and it is a firm belief of mine, and sometimes it's hard to hear, and I think I remind myself of this when I'm like, why hasn't this come? Why hasn't this happened? Is that we can only ever attract or manifest into our lives what we believe we deserve. And if we aren't okay with ourselves, then we're not, it doesn't matter what you're aiming for, whether it's romance and romantic relationships, whether it's business success, whether it is moving house to a bigger house, or making more money, or losing weight, or whatever it might be. If we aren't at least okay with ourselves, we are literally pushing away all this stuff that our head wants us to, or our heart wants us to have. Our head pushes it away because it feels like we aren't worthy. 2025 for me, talking about setting intentions, I am going to be heavily focused on the business, as I have been for the past 2 decades. For me, it's more expansion. This year is going to be about growing and nurturing my audience even more. I have so many new ideas, so I want to get good at prioritizing, because I'm useless, because I look and I go, I want to do it all, then I try and launch it all at the same time, and then I burn out and I cry in a corner and shake for 2 weeks, and then
Well, you've
nothing
got to learn
works.
from where you made those mistakes this year, because wasn't it 1 month you launched 5 different things in a
Things
month or
what
something, we
yeah.
were talking about on one podcast episode. And it's like, Shelley, you can't do that, it's because you care so much about the people, and when
Just so
you just want to
excited.
give, you want to give, but you have to protect you as well.
So what I've decided is that first week in January, I've already got it ready. I've printed off the year's worth of and I have to work. I know there's apps and stuff that does this for you, but I have to work on paper and pen when I'm planning, because if I'm putting in the screen, something in my brain I can't like click it. But if I have it on bits of paper in front of me, I can see it, I can feel it, and I that feels okay to me. So I've printed off the month of Google calendars. I'll show you. Look, I've got them here. I'm showing
Yeah,
Helen,
she has.
UK's
Yep,
fancy.
she
So
has.
I'm not just BSing. And I'm going to sit down and I'm going to plan, look at my big old list of stuff up here and plan what month I'm going to launch stuff in. I'm going to plan in when I'm doing Reiki courses. I'm going to plan in even down to social media. I'm literally going to have a whole week where I don't do anything. I just plan my year. So that'll be interesting. And because I'm not normally a planner, I fly by the seat of my pants with every single thing that I do.
Yeah.
Like, so, but I think in order to give myself a better chance at establishing that balance I am looking for, I think some planning time for me is going to be good. So I am setting the intention that in 2025, I'm going to become a planner. I don't know how good I'm going to be, but I'm definitely going to try. I'm also, so that's business and stuff. 2025, I want to lose some weight. I've talked about this before. I'm not in a, crazy mad way or anything. It's not because I'm depressed and about to throw myself out of a window about it. Mind you, the size of my backside at the moment, I doubt I would get out the damn window.
Don't say
But
that.
but you say things like that too.
I do, and you tell me off. So tough love. If that comes out your mouth, you're putting it out there. Now, come on, Shelley.
How very dare she? Oh my God. I'm getting a taste of my own medicine. Oh, no, that's true. Where was I? Yeah. So for me, so I launched my mindset meditations for weight loss program, and that was so not last September, but the September before I launched it, and I did it with a small group. I did it live with a small group of ladies, and I mean, I lost 11 pounds in, was it
That was
4 weeks,
so
6 weeks, something like that. But and I didn't actually do anything different. That was the thing. It was more about it. It's daily meditations, and these meditations really help you to switch your mindset up to get into a place where you love yourself enough to take care of yourself properly.
good.
They also, meditating every day also shifts you out that whole survival mode, because you can't lose weight when you're in survival mode, because your body's just storing all this stuff just in case you need to run away from a wolf or something. I wouldn't run away from a wolf. I would howl back at it and we'd be friends and run off into the hills.
I'd run away from a wolf screaming.
um, I've got visions of me and Helen going on a camping holiday in the Rockies in North America or something. Helen, look, a wolf! She's away, and I'm sitting there doing some sort of freaking
I'd be up a tree.
ceremony. Oh, wolf! Oh! Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so wolves, God, yeah. So I am gonna hit my mindset meditations for weight loss meditation program in January. Not straight away, but maybe say once I get back to work on the 6th, when the kids go back to school. That's kind of when life returns to normal. So my intention is to drop some weight. I don't want to, like, have a massive, like, be in the gym 5 times a week or anything like that. I want to change my mindset about my weight, because I've done so much work around my beliefs in terms of success. And if I want to make my business more successful, one of the things that's stopping me is my weight, because I have some wonderful customers who apparently really like me and trust me and whatnot, and they're safe for me. They've seen me, they know what I look like, they know how I am, but there's this little, like, disconnect in my head that won't let me push myself out further because of how I look. Now, part of the meditations, yes, the end result will be about weight loss, but part of it will be about changing my mindset to unhook the weight belief with the success belief. Does that make sense? So that I can go, they're nothing to do with each other. That's
It does
absolutely
make sense. And you've got to get there yourself, because
yeah.
we don't see that of you. We just see this
No.
beautiful, wonderful Shelley. You've just done a Facebook Live, for God's sake.
Oh, I
I mean,
know.
everybody's seen you now. I
But you
mean,
can only see boob up. That's all it is,
oh,
Quite
they
comfortable
are
with
good
boob
boobs,
up.
shells. So yeah. But we all see it, but if you don't believe it, that doesn't mean a thing. You've
Yeah.
got to feel it, believe it. And so I completely and utterly resonate with what you're saying. And that's part of my self-love journey, is hopefully weight as well as part of that, because we're not getting any younger. So we need to give ourselves the best chance in this world, and we need to get a bit healthier.
Isn't it funny, you spend the first half of your life wanting to lose weight, or well, for me anyway, wanting to lose weight because of what you look like. And then you hit a certain time in your life and then you start to want to lose weight to extend your life and make sure you
Yeah.
don't die quicker. Suddenly it becomes less about what you look like and more about the fact that you want to be able to breathe and move, and your
Yeah.
knees are aching and your lower back hurts and you can't breathe and you're huffing and puffing and you're like, oh God, right, okay, I'm not 25 anymore. I can't get away with this. It's just,
That is exactly the reasons I want to do it. I mean, obviously, I would like to look a bit sexier, particularly because I am going to be putting myself out there.
correcting a man.
But I just still think I've got a child. I want to live. I want to
Yeah,
see that child grow up. I want
yeah,
to have well, hopefully she'll have kids and I'll be a grandmother and all of those
yeah.
things. I want to be around. I want to be the cool granny. I don't want to be the one that is really poorly and
Dr-
massively overweight and just
yeah.
sits in the corner.
Yeah, dragging an air canister around, breathing into a Darth Vader mask because
Oh God, so I mean, health is wealth, as we always say.
yeah.
Health is
Oh, yeah.
wealth.
But you also, when you're not worrying about what you look like, you or worrying about health and problems and all that sort of stuff, you free up so much of that creative energy to put into manifesting more things, all the good things and the
Yeah,
happiness and confidence. It's, I genuinely believe that weight is not attached to success levels, financial abundance, anything else. I know this. Logically, I know this. But we also know that when you feel good about yourself, when you feel confident about yourself, no matter what size or shape you are, you do better because it's
mm,
confidence that drives you forward. It's the confidence that lets you believe that it's safe for you to attract what you want, that you deserve all the things that you want, that it's possible. And if there's any part of your life that is taking away that confidence, yes, there's thought processes and belief work to do on the inside about it. I know that. I'm recognizing that within myself. But I guess, to be a bit healthier and to feel a bit more confident about myself, it kind of opens up my head in terms of, well, it always comes down to feelings. When you feel good, you can do more. And if this is
yeah,
something that, I am aware that I could feel good, the size that I am, but well, it even comes down to, when you're sitting, you're uncomfortable and things like that. It's, it all adds up, doesn't it? I
mm,
don't want to give people the impression that I'm sitting here thinking, oh yeah, I'll lose weight and it'll solve all my problems. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that I know for me, if I dropped a little bit of weight, I would feel more confident, more comfortable in myself, and I would be able to, I don't know, I think I would just have more faith in myself. And yeah, logically, it doesn't correlate. Doesn't matter what size or shape you are, having faith in yourself, believing in yourself, loving yourself. I think they're two totally separate things. But I think what I am eating at the moment is not loving myself. You can fool yourself into thinking sitting down and polishing off an entire box of heroes and a bottle of wine is self-care. But that isn't self-care, is it? It's putting a chocolate flavored sticky plaster over something sad that's going on inside. I don't know where I'm going with this now. I'll keep doing this. My brain today, I swear to God. Probably is all the
brain
bloody
fog.
heroes that I'm eating. With sugar. Sugar's not good for perimenopausal women. But
No.
yeah, so it's that isn't self-care. Self-care would be, instead of sitting and eating half a ton of chocolate, would be to go and do some meditation, would be to have myself a lovely, an everything shower where you shave and pluck and
Mm.
exfoliate and paint toenails and, do all that sort of thing. That's more self-care than sitting down and, munching your way through a kilo of Ferrero Rochers.
Oh,
I
they
call them
are.
Ferrero Rochers because I can't say the word.
They're my favorite
They're
chocolates.
lush. They're so
I could polish off a whole, the two-layer ones, the
yeah.
smaller ones. I could eat a whole one of those easily.
Do you like, when they come in the tray with the other color ones? There's like a darker one.
Yeah, and the white ones, the coconut
Yeah.
ones.
I really like the
See,
dark ones. I don't know. Have they got like a coffee bean in the middle? I'm not
I don't
even
know.
sure
Lily
what's
likes the
in
dark
there.
ones.
I
I'm not
know.
so partial to those because I just like that
The
traditional
normal ones.
Ferrero,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
But
how do you eat them?
I'm well, I have to nibble off the outside, all of the outside, so it just leaves the crispy
Yeah.
brownie bit.
Yeah.
Then I have to take one half of the crispy bit off, then the other
Yeah.
half. So this leaves me the chocolate ball,
Yeah.
and then I can suck the chocolate ball to get to the nut.
That's roughly how I do it as well, although I'm less patient. So I nibble off all the chocolate and then I've got the crispy thing and then I just end up eating it. So
Depending on I mean, depending on what you edit when you put this out, that's going to sound quite dodgy, isn't it?
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I have the round ball and then I suck it till I
Okay,
get to the nuts.
yeah.
That's me
So,
wishing for my 2025. What are we doing?
oh my God. So getting back to setting intentions and things, setting intentions and goals. So yeah, so I just kind of, I don't know, I just kind of want to recap and kind of bring it all in a little bit. So the idea of why. So why do we set intentions and goals? Why do you set intentions and goals, Helen? Because you're a good intention setter. You did this last year.
Yeah. I do it because I quite like structure and I like a plan. I like to sort of know, I know that plans are there to change. And that's the thing. You can plan and then your plan might need to change. But for me, I like to know where I think I'm going. I like to have a plan of what I would like to achieve because it makes me feel better. It makes me feel in control. It makes me feel excited for those things that you can achieve. And when you get there, that feeling of, oh my God, I did it. I put that down and look, it's happened. So I think they're my sort of personal motivators. And I think I also need purpose. I need something to be reaching for, to keep stretching myself and to keep, otherwise you can just get complacent, and life is too short to get complacent in my eyes. So that's why I sort of set intentions and have goals. How about you?
I love that. Probably it's all the same reasons. And I think that when you said, because you like getting excited, and it's the excitement when we talk about manifestation, when we talk about, because that's what it is. If we set an intention to do something, to be something, to have something, we're literally saying, I am manifesting this experience, this thing, this feeling, whatever into my life. When we want to manifest something like that, it's the feeling that brings it in. Go back to like one of the first episodes of our first series chapter, whatever we call them. When we feel a feeling, it alters the chemistry of stuff and the vibration or energy that goes out, the message that goes out into the universe. And that is what the universe hears. So if we are playing a little story in our head about creating a podcast, for example, then the universe, we feel those feelings of excitement. Our vibration sings that song out there. The universe hears it and goes, oh, well, she's thinking about making a podcast and it's making her really excited. Oh, she must want that. Let's send her a lovely northern friend who has the know-how apparently and also wants to do a podcast, and she can get on quite well. Yeah, we'll just do that. And then you had a little bit of divine inspiration. Oh, Shells, I need a sesh. We get on there, we talk about things, bush, and next thing you know, we're on air, and
I
that's how it all
know.
works. So the fact you said about getting excited, yeah, I think that is absolutely key. Excitement, focus, that clarity of having it down on a bit of paper. This is what I want. Because again, it comes down to that being able to let, on an energetic level, let that energy flow into that one outcome. And it also means that you can practice it in your head. You can daydream about it and get excited about it. Oh, I'll do this and I'll do that and it'll look like this and it might feel like that. And again, it brings on all those lovely, lovely feelings. I love the idea of setting intentions, because all the things that you said, but I also have a really strong understanding, belief, well, for me anyway, that we were put here to continuously expand and grow. And we only do that by pushing ourselves out of what we have and into the next phase. And that might be, I don't know, doing something you've never done before. It might be going somewhere you've never been before. It might be trying something new. It might be getting better at something that you're already doing. It might be, just experiencing what change feels like. We weren't here just to kind of get to a certain plateau level and just sit still. I honestly believe that we're here to, well, my 3 E's: expand, experience, and enjoy. And if we don't, and yeah, sometimes we set an intention to do something and it doesn't happen, or it happens and then goes wrong, or doesn't work out the way we wanted it to. And that can bring hurt, and it can bring grief, and it can bring pain. But we're also meant to have those experiences as well, as unpleasant as what they
Yeah.
are. They're the experiences that help us determine what we want, what we don't want, what comes next, what we want to let go of. They help us help other people. They help, a lot of the things I talk about with my clients, I can only talk about with them because I've been through similar things or understand where they're coming from because of my own experiences. You're exactly the same. You can talk about stuff because you've experienced those shitty
Mm.
things. And it makes you more relatable, and you have that, I guess, experience brings wisdom as well. Just we get to take all the stuff that we've learned and put that into a form where we can share it or support others with it. And that's part of both of our purposes, really, I guess, being
Oh,
here on
yeah,
this earth. So
definitely.
for me, it's as well, it's about that expansion. It's if we don't set our sights on just that next step towards happiness, and it doesn't have to be about business, it doesn't have to be about weight, it can be about something, totally different. Like, I'm going to start scrapbooking this year. I'm not. I've done that out of my many hobby collection. I've scrapbooking's been there a few years back, didn't last very long. But you can start scrapbooking, you might want to set an intention that actually you're going to start collecting or creating a little collection of herbs to have in your garden, or going for walks on a weekend somewhere new, or eating in new restaurants, or could be
Mm.
all sorts of stuff. But I really think we should be challenging ourselves to move out of our comfort zone a little bit.
What I would say is, particularly with intent, I like intentions because it's what we're intending to do. And then you write a plan of how you're going to achieve it, going back to your SMAT goals. Let's be clear there. But what I struggle with is when you maybe, and this is where for me personally, I struggle, is when I've been very specific about a date. So I don't do that anymore. Like I can
Yeah.
still make them timely without being hugely specific in terms of the time and date. Because then if the date comes and goes, it causes me conflict of, oh, but you didn't achieve it in there. And then I beat myself
Yeah.
up. And actually, that's not what it is. It might be that something's just taken a bit longer. It might need, I not have needed to go on a longer journey. Or if it was weight loss, for example, maybe that journey is going to take longer because naturally you want to do it in a healthy way and all of those things. So maybe you tell yourself, oh, in 2 months, but actually it's 6 months. So I personally, and this isn't for everybody, but for me, I try not to, because I used to try and, when I used to do goal setting before, it used to be right. By first quarter, I wanted to achieve this, and by second quarter, I wanted to do that. And I'm all for having a rough plan, but now I try to do it. I try to take the pressure off a bit by the sort of end of the year. This is what everything I would have liked to have tried to achieve, because for me, it pushes me the other way if I've
Mhm.
got that pressure of a time. Whereas for some people, they may work well with having, a
A
date.
deadline on it.
So
I
I think
think,
you've got to find your place,
yeah.
haven't you?
And there's such a fine line. Again, I'm going to come back to it from like the university point of view. There's such a fine line between being focused and clear and specific and micromanaging the universe. You can
Mm.
put out, people say to me, well, when are you supposed to be specific, and when are you supposed to just like let go of that? Where is the line between being clear and specific and then taking over and telling the universe exactly how it should be done, when it should be done by, what it's supposed to look like? Because when we do that, when we micromanage the universe, we we just add loads of resistance to the situation. So we take away the ease and flow of that manifestation. It's an Abraham Hicks thing, and I always come back to this when I'm doing it, because I have a habit of, and then it has to happen by this date, and it has to do this, and it has to come about by that, blah blah blah, blah. Is if there's anything, when you are thinking about it, if there is any part of you inside that gets a bit like about it, that is resistance. Back off. You're being too specific, so go a bit more general. If you are thinking about it and it feels really exciting, adventurous, exhilarating, hopeful, optimistic, all of that stuff, great. Keep going with the detail. But the minute you start to feel a little limitation or a little start to creep in, back off and go a bit more general. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And so it's about listening to your inner self, isn't it? It's about
Yeah.
knowing those feelings. And I love that. I love what you're saying there. And I totally agree. So yeah, I personally love this time of year in terms of, for me, it just seems, I mean, you can set goals and intentions at any point of the
Of
year. And
course
this
you
is the
can.
other thing. Don't think, oh my God, I've got to have planned all my next year out. I've got to do it now, ready for January. Hell no. Your goals and intentions also will change through the year. So what might be a goal and intention now, next summer could be completely different,
Of
because
course you can.
circumstances, things will happen. So again, it's about going with the flow. For me, it's about constant recently, thinking about it and going back to it and looking and going, okay, things have changed a bit now. So actually, I've moved on from what I was thinking about there and planning there. And now I need to think about this over here and look at that. So I think really the exciting thing with intentions and goals is it's fun. I think if you make it fun, and you really just, like Shelley says often, just meditate, fall into it, just sit back and think about what is it you want? What is it you want to achieve? Those answers will soon come to you. And that's the beauty then, as you go on that journey and make those dreams come true. You know, you will have some mundane and very quick wins there to some big challenging things. And you'll go on a journey with them. And some of your goals or intentions might take a couple of years to manifest or longer. So I think, yeah, for me, it is a journey. And for me, the time of year to do it that works well for me is I like to do it at this time of year, ready for January. And then I like to take stock sort of the middle of the year to sort of see where I've come from in the first part of the year to where am I going into the second part. That personally works for me, but that's not for everybody. You've got to find your journey on it.
I think looking at the witchy kind of way of doing things, this time of year for us it's the darkest time of year. So the darkness is all about going within. It's all about listening to your intuition. It's all about really looking inside yourself, and right, what worked, what didn't work, what do I want to let go of, who have I been? Do I like that? Do I not like that? That's for us, this is what this time of year is about. So it is the perfect time. And I'd also say, you know, humans are very conditioned to set New Year's resolutions and things for January. But really, the energy of creation only gets going from the beginning of February, because that is when we celebrate Imbolc, which is the return of the light. So it's the return of life starting to come back to the planet and to the earth. So really, you know, you can even use the whole of January to get clear and focus on your intentions. But this is it's not, I don't suppose intention setting is just a one sitting kind of thing, is it? It's an
No.
evolving process, and nothing you write down is set in stone. I think I struggle with this a little bit, because it's like, well, if I ask for that, what happens if that's not enough? If I ask for, you know, that much money or that many new people on the email list, or what if that's not enough? And it's like, well, then you hit that and then you ask for a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it is all right to change your goalpost. It's all right to change your priorities. It's all right to get 2 months in and go, I don't even want that anymore. I'm just going to scrap it completely and I'm going to skydive instead. I will
Because
not
you're
be
always
skydiving.
changing as a person.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I
well,
wouldn't be skydiving either.
no, 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 no. So, you know, but we do have this habit of thinking that if we ask for something, then it's done. And also, if we ask for something and we get it, and then we ask for something else, oh well, we're just ungrateful, aren't we? We're just ungrateful. You've already got that. Oh, so many people out there don't even have that, and you're wanting more. Oh, you ungrateful little beast. When that's not the case either. The universe is like, yeah, she got it, and she wants more. Yeah, that's brilliant. You know, imagine you have friends coming round, so you make a meal. You slave all day long in the kitchen making this meal from scratch. Okay, it's taken you hours. The sweat that has poured out of you was unbelievable. Not into the potatoes like we talked about in the
Yeah.
Christmas episode. So you've made this meal. You've stood slaving all day long, and then you have a quick 10 minutes. Pop out, get ready, come back. Your friends arrive. They sit down. They eat the meal. How good does it feel when someone eats the meal and goes, oh my God, could I have seconds? Because they
Yeah.
enjoyed it that much. Well, that's what we're doing to the universe. When, you know, we've asked for something, we get it, and then we go, right, can I have some more now? The universe is like, yeah, she likes what I made for her. This is good. It's
That is a
exactly
good
the
analogy,
same.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, me with analogies, you know what I'm like.
Yeah, you do have you do good ones. You do good analogies.
I
So,
should write a whole
so
book of analogies.
yeah, that could be your book.
That could be my book.
We talked
Shelley's
about
little book of
books.
analogies. But yeah, so it's okay for, you know, for us to keep asking for more, because we're meant to grow, we're meant to keep moving. That old phrase, life is a journey, it's all about the journey. the journey is the experiences and the expansion that we undergo as a human. It's not a journey if you keep doing the same things and experience the same things and thoughts and feelings every single day for like 85 years. That's not a journey. You just stood waiting on a platform or have fallen off onto the tracks and
Oh God.
awaiting the inevitable. You know, we're getting grim. We're getting really grim.
Yeah, we can't
Yeah,
get grim. It's the end of the year. We've got to
it
be
is.
positive.
So but you get what I mean anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's okay to chop and change, to change priorities. So coming back to the witchy year thing, February's when everything really kicks off in terms of the energy and the air of manifestation, setting intentions. And as the more light we have, the more, I guess, success we see. We follow what happens in the land. So at the minute, there's nothing there. So we're all about planning and thinking about how to make our land fertile, ready for
Mm.
spring planting. We set those intentions, then we watch as we look after them, we nurture them, we do our bit, because obviously the universe will do its bit, but we have to do our bit as well. There's no point in just sitting on the sofa waiting for everything to just turn up at your door. You got to do your bit. And then once we hit like springtime, summertime, we start to see the blossoms coming out, and that is reflective of us starting to see our intentions, coming to, not necessarily to fruition, but we're making headway. We can see how they're going to come about. Then in the summer, when it's the harvest time, that is us reaping the rewards of all the energy we've put into our manifestations. And then as we head in towards autumn, it's all about reviewing and evaluating, releasing stuff that didn't work, sitting in the darkness once again in the winter, so that we can come back round at the beginning of February ready to get going all over again with that cycle. But that happens every year. But we can also do it every month as well, because that beautiful dark moon energy, the night before the new moon, that is where we go within. That is
Yeah.
where we're the darkness, the quiet time to think, right, what worked for me this month, what didn't work for me this month. And then the next night, which is a new moon, that's where we start to set the intentions for the coming month. What do I want to manifest? What do I want to achieve? So you could do a year-long list, letter, whatever you want to call it, and then each month pick, something off that. Right, okay, so it's January's priorities are going to be this, February's priorities are going to be this, and you can actually like work them in tandem,
Mm.
kind of thing, as you go through the
Actually,
month.
I strangely do that because I write an old-fashioned diary. I love an old-fashioned diary, and I like going back and reading them. And at the start of each month, it's got a summary page, and you write, one of the things is goals for the month. So ironically, although I plan for the year and change those plans, I do shorter goals for the month that I definitely
Yeah.
want to try and achieve in that month. And not all get achieved, like particularly when it came to study. Oh, I want to have made sure that's written by that date. Well, as you know, I'm always late for everything, and timing is not my best what's the word, best,
Quality.
yeah, best quality. I'm not good with timing. So yeah, I just have those little, so it's like every month I've got like mini goals as well. But
Yeah,
that sort of works for me. And then some I
yeah,
can tick off, and others might just move into the next month, or
yeah.
things have changed and they're irrelevant now. So they can just go off the list. So I do actually agree with that.
It works.
So
It
it's good.
works. Yeah.
Well, I think we've basically come to the end of describing, unless you've got some other words of wisdom, Shells, because
No,
you are
I
the
was just
queen.
I was just about to say that's Helen speak for Shelley. You've over waffled. It's time to tune off now.
It wasn't at all, guys. But I do always keep a note. That's why quite often you hear me round up the
Because I
times,
don't
because
pay any attention to it. I can still. I mean, what time is it in real life now? It's 5 to 4. Oh my God, it's 5 to 4. The kids will be home in 5 minutes. Um, I could still be sat here at 8 o'clock tonight with Helen, just chit chatting. Oh, so what intentions are you? This is what I'm going to
you
do.
know what was so funny? Before we started recording this, obviously we'd recorded live earlier in the
Yeah.
day, and we were just sat here because we had a few hours break because we had some errands to run. And we came back to do this recording, and it was like we hadn't done the morning one, was it? Because we just started rabbiting on again about completely different things that we did not speak about this morning. Bearing in mind, we've pretty much been on the phone to each other since half
All
past 10 this
day.
morning. it's like your friends at school. Do you remember when you were at school? You'd be with your best friends in school. Lily does it now. She's with her friends in school, and then she comes home and she rings them. I'm
Rings
like,
them
you just
straight away.
ring them.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's crackers. You know, I can walk past Tabby's bedroom and hear her having a conversation and look in, and she's got like a WhatsApp video call going with about 6 different faces in the thing. And you just like, and I sometimes don't even know they're on. I'll walk in and go, Tabby, you didn't flush the toilet when you were at the toilet last time. And she's like, Mom, I'm on the
Yeah.
phone. Sorry.
You're
Flush
allowed
the
to do
toilet
that.
then.
You're a mum. Exactly. She should flush the toilet.
Yeah.
Honestly, I did that the other day. Because Lily's got this habit when she has a shower of just leaving. She'll kill me for saying this, but I'm saying it anyway.
Hi, Lily. We love you.
Yeah, when she listens to this, she'll go, Mum, can't believe you said that. But she is so bloody lazy. She'll have a shower and she just leaves her knickers on the floor.
Oh,
And
yeah. Oh,
those
God, that's
knickers
normal.
just stay there. And
Yeah.
I'm like, Lily, I'm not picking up your knickers. You're 14. Go and pick those bloody knickers
Put them in the washing basket. Oh, God. That's for us. They don't tend to leave their clothes in the bathroom. It's just a pile of wet towels. Tristan,
Oh,
I
I
don't
hate that 'cause they
understand.
start to smell.
Oh God, Tristan can go through like 6 towels in 48 hours. And
Oh,
rather than putting them, you know, if they were using them and they were just coming through the wash, I could cope with it. But it's the fact that they're all damp and wet. And then so he'll use yesterday's towel as like the towel to go on the floor because I don't know how he does it, but
yeah,
he seems to just wet the entire bathroom when he has a shower. So he like puts towels on the floor. So he'll use yesterday's towel for today's floor towel, and then that'll just stay there. And then the day after, there'll be like today's towel added to that. And then
yeah.
I'll walk in the bathroom, like because they have their own bathroom. I'll walk in the bathroom on like a Thursday and go, how many bloody towels are on the floor? I was wondering, there's not in the
Exactly.
airing cupboard. I was wondering where they all are.
I
And then
suppose you should
where?
be grateful for small mercies that as a 15-year-old lad, he is washing
Oh, well,
because
yeah,
there'll
there's
be
that.
some out there that don't want to
Don't
wash.
know.
So, I
There's that.
mean, you
No,
might
I
have to just take it for the towels for the
yeah,
fact he's clean.
yeah, I do get a clean boy, and he's starting wearing like, I mean, he wears deodorant, he's worn deodorant for a long time now, but he's starting to wear like aftershave and stuff like that. And you walk in the kitchen, I'm like, you smell nice. And he just looks at me as if to say, you're not allowed to comment on how I smell. She's like,
They think we're so embarrassing, don't they,
oh,
when
I
we make
know.
these comments? We were that age too, and
Oh, well,
but yeah,
they think
it's
they
like
invented it all, don't they?
I
But, you know,
know, but we
have I,
did when we were that age.
yeah.
So, oh
Have I
my
told you about
goodness,
this? How they think they invent, like that generation thinks they invented Coke floats.
Really?
Yeah, they were on
Oh
about. I
my
was
god.
watching a thing, and they're on about these kids that are just like, you know, oh, did you know that if you get a glass of like Coke and put a scoop of vanilla ice cream, you get this amazing thing? And I'm like, I think that's been
Yeah,
going since
we
like the
had them.
'60s or
Yeah.
something. I'm like,
Well, all
anyway,
well, yeah. I mean, I just want to say again, I know I'm a big thanker, but thank you to you, Shelley, for one, because
hang
you
on,
have
she did just say thank her there.
thank you, I said, didn't I?
No, you said I'm a big thanker, and I just went,
Oh
I'll
yeah,
just clarify.
thanker.
She said thanker rather
Oh
than.
God, yes, I did say I'm a big thanker. I like yes. Oh
That's
my
me, my
God.
filthy mind. That's all it
Oh,
is.
this is Christmas. You can't be thinking thoughts like that.
Of course
You
I
know,
can.
come on, get your brain out the gutter here. Yeah, my innocence and how sweet and innocent am I? Honestly, I'm like an angel. But no, on a serious note, thank you so much for this year. For agreeing to do the podcast with me and coming up with all the ideas and making my dreams come true, which in turn I think has made your dreams come true as well in terms of podcasting. So I want to thank you greatly for that.
Oh,
Want to thank you mainly for being the most wonderful person that you are. You're beautiful inside and out. But I
she's going to
just
make me cry at this rate.
and I need you to take this because you're not very good at taking thanks and praise. But more than anything, you are our expert and you've taught us so much this year and given us really good analogies, really good things to think about, go away and work on. And I have become a better person because of this podcast and doing these things. I honestly believe that. And I hope, even if it has helped one listener in the same way, I've gone on such a journey with myself and I cannot wait to continue it into next year. And doing this podcast with you has really helped that for me. And I just want to say thank you so very much. And so I know it's not a Christmas present, a physical one, but my Christmas present is this huge thanks of gratitude to you for just taking me on this journey. And I really cannot wait to go into the new year with you and continue it again and just keep growing. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Shelley. I really mean that.
The viewers or the listeners can't see me squirming in my seat right now. I'm like, oh my God. But no, but thank you, my darling, because this has been such a fun experience. And it's been, I learn all the time too. And I think every time because we all need reminded about stuff. And every time we do an episode on whether it's setting intentions or manifestation, I mean, I come back and I talk about manifestation every bloody episode, let's be realistic. But I get reminded too, and I get reminded of the importance of it. And, so it's a journey for me as well. And I think with this stuff, you never stop learning, you never stop growing. There's always more to experience, there's always more to feel, there's always more wisdom to be gleaned. But thank you for being you and being such a lovely friend and making this because if the listeners don't see behind the scenes stuff when we're trying to get to a date together for recording, and it's like yeah this date, and then it's like, oh my God, I'm dying on the inside, I can't record tonight, no worries, we'll try on Sunday. And no one gets to see that part of things, but
No.
you've made this process really easy and everything's just flowed in wonderfully.
It was just meant to happen. It really was.
Absolutely. And I wonder, if we should maybe say we'll go through chapter 3, and then what if we are to start again with the topics from like the first chapter and see the difference in the way we feel about things all
Yeah,
over again? Might be an
maybe
idea.
that's a great idea. You've always
Might be
got
an
great
idea.
ideas. And obviously, thank you to you guys, our listeners, because
Oh, yes, I forgot they were there.
because we could just keep talking to ourselves, but we have had some really, truly wonderful feedback of late. And it's been people telling us their stories and how the podcast has helped, or they've taken something from it, or they've just feel like it's nice to sit and have a cuppa with me and Shelley. It's like we're all sat there having a cuppa.
Yeah.
So whatever you take from this, thank you. Just thank you for following us, liking us, rating us, engaging with us, listening to us, telling friends about us. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do this.
No.
So we wish you an amazing Christmas and New Year, don't we?
Yes, we do very, very much.
And we're back in your ear. Well, this is coming out on the Sunday, the 29th.
Yeah.
And then after that, the week after will be, so the first one for the new year will be blocks of resistance and stuck stuff.
Oh, that's going to be a tough love episode. That really is.
But it's a good one to do now at the start, so we can try and shift some of that stuff, which will help with our goals and intentions of moving on with the year. So that's why we planned it this way. See, although we don't plan our episodes in terms of the content, we very clearly plan the order, don't we?
Yeah, there is a method to our madness in amongst it all, isn't there?
There's some professionalism in there.
We'll get there. Yes. So have the most wonderful holiday time, Christmas time, Yule, however, well, it's past. Oh no, we're past that, aren't we? So have a wonderful New Year's Eve, and we will be back. I hope we've all had a wonderful Christmas. God, I just wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Any Doctor Who fans will understand that. And we will see you on January the 5th of 2025 to kick off a whole new year of magic and miracles and mayhem. I think that should be our new tagline.
Yeah, that's really good, actually. I love it. Brilliant. So thank you all, and see you in the new year, or speak to you in the new year.
Speak to you in the new year. Bye, guys.
Bye.